6.6 billion US dollars didn't go into the company's vault, but markets still priced AI at 500 billion US dollars. Why did a secondary sale ignite the race for electricity and compute? Why does it create real jobs, faster public services, and bigger paychecks? In 12 minutes, we'll unpack this $500 billion passport, where the money flows, who benefits, and how to turn AI from a lab demo into money in your wallet. You'll get 4 things: why the $500 billion valuation is real economy signal, not soap bubble hype; concrete benefits for the country and for everyday people; the risks that could deflate the story; a 12-month playbook for a nation, covering infrastructure, data, skills, and public services. This is a roughly 6.6 billion US dollars secondary sale. Sellers, current and former employees. Buyers, large funds. No new cash went into the company, but a reference point got set: 500 billion US dollars. AI just got placed in the national infrastructure bucket, like power, like the internet, like early stage cloud. Private capital sent a message: clear the way for compute capacity. Will show up 3 pillars holding up the price: revenues accelerating across consumer and enterprise; distribution advantage when apps already have massive users; compute alliances with top clouds; cost per 1,000 tokens falls with scale; costs drop; gross margins open up; margins open; capital cycles back into more infrastructure. A self-reinforcing loop. $500 billion isn't wall art, it triggers real decisions. Build data centers at power poles of the grid. Sign long-term PPAs to stabilize electricity costs. Expand international bandwidth. Upgrade subsea fiber. Reskill workers to orchestrate humans plus machines. Every new watt, every GPU cluster filled, hooks into real contracts in health, education, manufacturing, and finance. National productivity stops being a slogan. Case throughput per day rises 30 to 50% with the same headcount. Macro, what the country gets public sector productivity up. AI assistants summarize files, flag emissions, suggest standard workflows. Officials focus on exceptions, not repetitive typing. High-quality FDI arrives. Data centers, semiconductors, R&D. Supply chains in engineering, cybersecurity, and grid operations get pulled in. Infrastructure upgrades follow, clean power and storage. Subsea fiber capacity rises. Domestic cloud expands regional footprints. New jobs open up. AI-augmented operators on factory floors. Agent designers inside enterprises. Data center and power system engineers. Technicians for cooling and safety. Public services get faster, cheaper. Telehealth for remote areas. Basic legal assistance and codified lookups. Personalized tutors for struggling students. Language equity via bilingual models. Non-English speakers access global curricula. Skills go up, incomes follow. SMBs rent a virtual workforce by the month. Accounting, customer care, content marketing, inventory control, freight negotiation. Fixed costs become variable. Digital export doors open. A local shop sells cross-border with AI. New income streams appear. Bigger paychecks hit real households. The double-edged sword of a high valuation. If compute and power costs don't fall fast enough, or paid conversions slow, markets will rewrite the story with smaller numbers. The backbone is technical efficiency. Batching, caching, distillation, compilers. Specialized hardware and optimized inference flows. Relentlessly lower cost per query sustainably. Talent wars and governance. Tenders create liquidity to retain people, but big tech still hunts relentlessly. The nonprofit capped profit structure must be clearer. To reduce PR and legal risk. Investors aren't just buying a model, they're buying organizational capability. They're buying a ship-it culture. They're buying legitimacy as AI enters health, education, and finance. Environmental and social guardrails. Data centers need power, water, land. Set clear green standards and carbon offset mechanisms. Reuse waste heat for greenhouses or industrial parks. Independent public environmental monitoring. On the social side, some repetitive jobs will be displaced in the short run. The answer isn't to block technology. It's 6 to 8 weeks of retraining with short certificates plus on-the-job placement to smooth role transitions. Compute geography and power, 3 AI compute zones. Declare 2 to 3 AI compute zones aligned with power poles. North, near thermal clusters and LNG ports. Central, along subsea cable corridors. South, by industrial parks and gas power clusters. Apply 10 to 15-year PPAs for green standard data centers. Stand up a one-stop shop for land, tax, and customs. Guarantee power SLAS with storage redundancy. Target PUE less than or equal to 1.25 for energy efficiency. Open public data framework. Health, anonymized. Education, agriculture, transport. Provide controlled API access for firms and startups. Create a national model evaluation center. Standards for Vietnamese and multilingual data. Bias and safety evaluations. Transparent appeals with deadlines. Trust is the fuel for scaling the whole economy. AI for 1 million workers program 6 to 8 weeks, online and on-site. Free or co-funded with employers. Focus, tool skills, InfoSec, human-machine coordination. Scholarships for automation risk groups. Prioritize women and remote regions. Training with job matching so graduates earn immediately. Launch 3-pillar use cases. One-stop admin assistant to cut processing time 30 to 50%. County-level physician support for chart summaries and med reminders. AI tutors for grades 6 to 12 aligned to the national curriculum. Lift scores 10 to 15% for struggling students in 6 months. Each use case needs key performance indicators, timelines, and independent evaluation. Co-investment fund allocate 1 to 2 trillion dong per year or local equivalent. Prioritize AI startups using public data. Open regulatory sandboxes for agents in finance and health. Real-time oversight with public reporting. $500 billion isn't a headline number. It's a signal that AI has stepped into the real economy. The question isn't, will AI replace humans? The question is, do we want higher wages, faster services, better jobs? And are we willing to prepare now? Comment with the axis you'd prioritize: power and compute, AI, education, or public data. Pick one and start tomorrow. Concrete vignettes. District hospital, charts summarized in seconds. Drug interaction alerts. Wait times down, adherence up. Farm co-ops. Yield forecasts by weather. Guidance on irrigation and fertilizer. Real-time prices. Optimize logistics, reduce loss. Net profits rise without farmers needing to know the algorithms. Education. One-on-one AI tutoring, adaptive questioning. Teachers focus on discussion. Every percentage point in scores today is tomorrow's productivity. Infrastructure. DCS reuse waste heat for greenhouses. Pair with batteries to meet load. Lower PUE means less power, lower bills, lower emissions. Artisan shops, AI writes bilingual listings, generates consistent images, answers customers. Seasonal inventory forecasting, owners design while systems handle paperwork. Revenue up, fixed costs down, wallets get thicker. People, short retraining tied to employers turns job shifts into a ladder. From repetition to data quality, human-machine orchestration, maintenance tech, the door won't open by itself, but we can hand out the keys. Closing message: AI isn't magic. AI is a chain of repeated investment decisions into power, into infrastructure, into clean data, into people. Stay consistent on those four, and jobs, faster services, bigger paychecks will step out of this video and into reality, into your home and into your account. If this video brought you value, smash like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Share this with someone who wants a better job, faster services, and bigger paychecks. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.